Hey, what's up, Design and Draw? Good morning. As you can see, I've upgraded from the garage to my basement early in the morning, a little quieter. Also sporting some new fashion because I've grown kind of bored and I'm watching a lot of Peaky Blinders lately on Netflix. Decided to grow a stash, so enjoy. What we're going to do today is get you started on your first big project of the quarantine quarter. And the inspiration for this project actually came from a print that has been behind my desk since you walked in the door on the first day last semester. And that is this self-portrait by Andy Warhol from 1967. It's at the Museum of Modern Art in San Francisco, and it is a great representative of a style of art called pop art. Pop art was big in the 1960s. Um, Famous names like Klaus Oldenburg, the guy that did the shuttlecocks at the Nelson Atkins Museum here in Kansas City, Campbell's soup cans you may have seen by Andy Warhol. Basically, pop art came as a response to abstract expressionism, which was in the generation of artists before. Very non-objective. Think like drip paintings by Jackson Pollock. Very non-objective, um, and sort of mysterious to your average person. Well, pop artists came around in the 1960s, post-war years, a lot of boom and commercialism and advertising, and so pop artists wanted you to not have to think so much about the subject of their art, so they made it very familiar. So you see a lot of images of just common things like comic book art, like the Campbell soup cans, and they also experimented with industrial processes like screen printing, which gives these images this very distinctive look. All right, so combination of photographic processes, screen printing, kind of commercial art techniques, all kind of came together during this decade or two into the pop art movement. So we're going to try a little bit of pop art on your first big project, and we're going to go back to your color review and learn a little bit about color schemes uh, along the way of completing the project. All right, so take a quick look at these, immerse yourself briefly in some pop art, check out how Andy Warhol layered some of these self-portraits that you see, and you will find your new assignment in Schoology. All right, so what we're going to do is a digital pop art painting with basic color schemes. You guys have learned how to use the Photoshop tools necessary to create something like this because you know how to filter an image, you know how to use a custom brush, and you know how to use and adjust the brush tools that are in Photoshop. So rather than paint this on paper, we're going to actually be painting it with your mouse or your trackpad, and you're going to be doing it on a virtual canvas in the Photoshop window. All right, so what I need you to do first is you're going to go into the project folder, and there will be a Photoshop document that's set up for you that looks something like this. You'll have 4 canvases to work on. And for each one of these canvases, I want you to do a different color scheme from that list that I gave you on the color review, which was a couple of projects ago. All right, examples of color schemes include complementary, that's color groups that are across from each other on the color wheel. You could do a triad with primary colors. You could do analogous colors like the cool colors, blues, greens, purples, etc. So if you don't remember what some of those basic color schemes were, go back to that review and make sure that you check that out and refresh your memory. What we're going to do with this is you will use 4 different color schemes to create 4 different paintings. There are a couple of ways to get started with this. First of all, let me explain how this is set up. You have 4 canvases on your screen. Remember to zoom in to any one of those. You just hit Control plus and then slide it around with the sliders. To zoom out, you hit Control minus to slide back out and recenter so that you can kind of see all 4 at once. All right, each one of these canvases are titled with painting 1, painting 2, etc., and each one has 2 layers, a subject layer and a background layer. Make sure that whatever you're working on, you have that layer selected. So if I am doing, for example, I'm going to brush in some color for my background layer, and I'm going to do maybe a triad. So I'll pick some primary colors and start brushing them in. Make sure that you're not on the wrong canvas and make sure that you're not on the wrong layer. All right, so I'm just gonna go and fill this in with some color. Now to add the subject is going to be the portrait aspect of this. And so there's a couple of ways that I can do that. First of all, you got to make sure you go to the subject layer. And if you want to recall that we showed you how to do a custom brush. So what I could do next is go to a custom brush with a portrait image. And so I picked out that one that I had before. And you can just brush in your portrait over your color like that. All right. Now, certain colors won't work as well as others with this, and you can experiment and kind of try out different looks. Like if I change that to white, that's going to change how it looks. If I change it to a different color, let's say I change it to a really dark blue, it's going to look a little bit different. But you can try that custom brush and overlay it on the color by using your layers on your painting to kind of arrange one on top of one below. All right, something to keep in mind with this custom brush is you may need to stamp it a few times to get it to show up well, or you may need to put something lighter underneath it. So let me Alt Control Z and step back. All right, if it doesn't show up well, you may need to go in and add a lighter color as kind of a base before you go in with your custom brush. So I might go in and maybe block out some white on my background area. Whoops. Make sure it's on my background area. I may want to go in and block out like a lighter area on that before I stamp it with my custom brush. And that way I have a little bit more options as far as using some color with that instead of just using a black and white that will show up. So maybe this time I use some blue, go in and stamp over the white, and you can see when you lighten it, it shows up a little bit better. All right, another option that you have for creating this is got my picture that I want to use right here, and I just made a copy of it. So I right click and copy, and then I'm going to go back to Photoshop and I'm going to paste it on the subject layer. So I'm going to go there, hit paste, Control T is free transform. And if you recall from a couple of other lessons we've done, if you hit Control T and then hold down the Shift button and then use the corner, you can resize that to fit your painting a little bit better. All right, what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to use one of the Photoshop filters and I'm going to remove the background to basically create a similar effect to what I just did with the brush. All right, so on this one, you can do it if you want to brush in, or if you want to brush out, I should say, the background. I'm using the eraser tool to just go in and remove all the grass and the fence and all the other extra stuff that I don't want to use. Whoops, too far. All right, so one quick kind of sloppy way to do this is to erase it out, all right, which may give you a little border. It may give you some stuff that you don't want in there. So instead, what I'm going to do is go to my quick selection, and you guys know how to use the quick select, and you know how to go select subject, and you know how to use the plus and minus brush to kind of clean up your selection area. All right, once Photoshop selects the subject in this photo, and as soon as it's done thinking, it's going to have a dotted line around it. I'm going to jump up to select and then go inverse. That's going to select everything else beyond the portrait. I'm going to hit delete. All right, so now I've got just the nice portrait image over my colored background. Now, this looks kind of jarring and weird, so I don't want to just leave the photo with a big colorful background. It just looks strange. So I'm going to try and filter this so it's got a little more unity and harmony, which is a design principle. All right, so here's where I can go up to filter and then filter gallery. You guys just did this practice lesson not too long ago, and you can try out some different options with that. Some of them are going to work obviously better than others, right? I don't think I want to look like the Terminator, so I'm going to skip that one. That one's actually not bad. Note paper, I kind of like that one. So I hit OK and apply that filter. And now I've got kind of a cool pop art image that uses a triad of primary colors. Painting one, pretty much complete. Now I can go in and keep messing with it, which I would encourage you guys to do. But make sure that you've got fully complete, unified, cohesive, structured looking painting. This is a little bit different from your practice ones in that I don't want it to be so random. I want it to be thought out and have a composition, maybe use the rule of thirds and have some layering to it. That's a big thing with digital painting is you got to do a lot of layers. So adding in colors, textures, trying different brushes, maybe a couple of different filters till you get the right look. Now to save your work and submit it later on, you will go to File and then Export, and then we're going to export it as a JPEG, which is the file format of choice when you submit to Schoology. All right, so up here in the upper right corner when this window opens up, you're just going to change the format to JPEG. You're going to hit Export All down here in the corner, and then you're going to select the folder you want to send it to right here. All right, so you're going to have a couple more class periods, which for my fourth block red day class, that puts you at April 7th, I believe. And you have until midnight that day to turn this in. You got a little extra time because there's a little more work involved. 4 paintings, specific color scheme. They're going to take a little bit of time to research and kind of look at some examples before you're creating your own. All right, when you're finished and you've exported it as a JPEG, I want you to submit each of your paintings to Schoology. I'm going to look at all 4, and then your grade will be based on a rubric for 100 points total. All right, so have fun. If you guys have questions or if you have trouble with anything, let me know. Call tech if necessary to troubleshoot and get help. Everyone should have functioning Photoshop working on their laptop. If you don't, make sure you make that phone call to 359-5000 as soon as possible. And I look forward to seeing what you guys can do with this. It should be pretty fun. I think the results will be pretty cool. Just one last note, your portrait does not have to be a self-portrait. If you want to do a portrait of your mom, of your dog, I've got mine sitting right here. Come here, Bailey. Here she is. Bailey says hello. If you want to do a portrait of something else other than yourself, totally fine. I want you guys to just enjoy it and kind of go back and review those color schemes and practice those digital painting techniques we've been working on for the last few class periods. All right, so have a good time. I'll see you later.